to the verse, oh, the Dabbleverse, where content has no shame. And Lucy's tight box comes in first. Lucy does dabble, Lucy does Dabbleverse, Lucy does dabble, Lucy does Dabbleverse, Lucy does Dabbleverse. Lucy tight box brings the facts, and she breaks them down for us. Lucy does Dabbleverse. La la la, Lucy has a tight box and she shares it with dabblers. No, not like that, but she does this show for us. Lucy does dabble, Lucy does Dabbleverse, 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 yes she does, yes she do it, Lucy does Dabbleverse, yes she does, Lucy does Dabbleverse. Lucy does Dabbleverse, Lucy does Dabbleverse, Lucy does Dabbleverse.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lucy Does Dabbleverse, where we are going to be talking all about a very, very exciting motion to dismiss in everyone's favorite lawsuit. And I am joined by two very special guests this evening. I have Luigi Greenberg from Skeptical Robot and LuigiGreenberg.com. And, of course, everybody's favorite puppet, Tookie from Bedabbler Network and TookieSoup.com. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Yay!
Me.
I am so excited.
Not us.
Wow.
Thank you.
Listen.
Very happy to be here.
I think that we are all very, very, very excited to get into the meat and potatoes of what is Karl and Shuli's response to the now infamous Stuttering John lol suit. But I do think that we need to start out with defining the term Dabbleverse. Everybody who is here is probably already familiar with what the Dabbleverse is, but based on the horrendous misrepresentation outlined in Stuttering John's initial lawsuit and his initial complaint, I do think that we need to actually talk about it. So I am wondering, Tookie, would you give me your definition of what the Dabbleverse is?
Oh, what a difficult question. But I will try my best. I believe that the Dabbleverse, if I was going to describe it to my grandmother, who knows nothing about any of this, I would say it's an online community of mutants and misfits who all have the ability to participate in talking about the online antics of one drunken moron, Stuttering John.
I could not agree more. That is certainly better than the definition that was outlined by John. What about you, Luigi? How would you define it?
He took half of my definition.
Liar, you copied. You cheated off Tookie.
It's an online community of podcasters and social media participants. Is that a good word?
Yeah.
That
And Jake Woodson.
revolves around mocking and critiquing John Melendez.
The public misadventures and failures of talentless entertainers. I feel like that.
That's good.
Former
That's
glory, we got all of that. So what is going on in the Dabbleverse right now? And we all know that it turns out a lot is going on in the Dabbleverse right now. In fact, a lot of legal stuff is going on in the Dabbleverse right now.
I know.
But today we are focusing on this lawsuit filed by Stuttering John Melendez against Karl and Shuli of Who Are These Podcasts and the Shuli Network, respectively. The lawsuit was filed on August 7th, and John, through his attorney, Tabor Benedict, or Benedict, as we have all known to grow and love him, alleges that Karl and Shuli violated New York civil rights law, sections 50 and 51, which relate to the right of privacy and publicity. So basically, John is claiming that Karl and Shuli used his likeness for commercial advertising and trade.
Now, is that like when you see places in Pakistan that are like Obama fried chicken and stuff like that? Is that more geared to something like that?
It's exactly the same.
Right, like John
Also, I'm hungry
Cena
now.
Hut. Yeah, like they'll have a pizza place and they'll have like John Cena's picture on the pizza place. Fantastic.
It does really, really make me hungry. I think one of the most famous cases, which Luigi and I have talked about a little bit and was referenced in some of the legal materials, has been this somewhat recent Carmen Electra case where a gentleman's club used Carmen Electra's likeness on a billboard to insinuate that she might be there. And they got into a legal fight over that, which she did end up losing based specifically on the statute of limitations.
Why would guys want to go to a strip club because a talking potato is there?
It's a very good question. Very good question.
I don't understand.
Or recent Carmen Electra either.
Oh, Carmen Electra. I thought you said Cardiff Electric.
Oh, you thought Cardiff Electric was used as precedence for this case?
Famous case of Cardiff Electric and the strip club. I'm sorry, Tookie misunderstood.
Everybody does really want to see you guys in court, so maybe that will one day be a
Tookie. Please don't sue
maybe.
Tookie.
All right, so Luigi and I have already gone over the complaint, which contains all of the allegations of Stuttering John. And today we are very excited because we are going to be going through that motion to dismiss, which was filed by Karl, Shuli, and their attorney, Danny Servalos. So the first thing that we need to do is talk about what we have missed out on since Luigi and I last discussed this. And there have been a few documents that have been filed since we last discussed this. So the first of those are going to be the affidavits of service. So Luigi, while I'm pulling these up, would you like to explain what exactly an affidavit of service is?
Let me handle this, Luigi.
Please, go for it.
Tookie, go.
I'm going to refer to my lawyer, Luigi Greenberg.
When you are involved with a lawsuit, when you're the defendant of a lawsuit, you have to be served with the notice of the lawsuit and a summons to court letting you know that, hey, you've been sued. This is a basically, like the term says, an affirmation, but it's more of like a way to certify that, in fact, this person was served with the lawsuit and is aware of the lawsuit, because there are clocks that start ticking that say that if you don't respond in a certain time, you lose. There you go.
Yes. So
Exactly
this
what I was gonna
affidavit of service that we're looking at right now is from when Karl got served. So he got served on August 12th. And one of my favorite parts of affidavits of service is that they always include a description of the person who's getting sued. So Karl's description is that he is 42, Caucasian, male, 175 pounds, 5'11", brown hair, blank eyes, blank relationship, and beard and mustache. It mentions nothing of his skinny chicken legs, so that's a little... I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
His rigatoni calves.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know, maybe a reason to claim that affidavit of service was not sufficient. And then here we have Shuli's affidavit of service. So this one was, Shuli was served the next day on August 13th. And what do we have for Shuli? We've got 53, male, Middle Eastern is the words that are used.
Middle Eastern.
Jew, yes. 5'9", 215 pounds, and bald with glasses.
A Shuli.
Yeah, it's so true.
You look like a Shuli. They could have saved so much ink.
They could have. They really could have. But they didn't. Instead, they decided to talk about how beautiful that was. Now, something that I did notice is that service affidavits were filed for both Karl and Shuli. However, there are 4 defendants named in this action. So I'm actually just going to pull up something that has our caption on it. So you can see here the caption is right up top. And it says that the defendants are Karl, Shuli, the Shuli Network, and Who Are These Podcasts? So that means Shauli, yes, that's right. Always pronouncing it wrong. I'm so sorry.
We all have for 20 years.
for 20 years. Hey, that was the whole reason they had to file an amended complaint, was to fix it so that it was Shauli, aka Shuli, and the Benedict thing. But, you know, that's nothing. So usually there would be 4 service affidavits filed in a case like this, because you have to actually explain that 4 people are getting sued in this lawsuit. And all of those entities need to be sued separately and individually. So I would expect to see 2 corporate service affidavits. However, we did not see that. And to give us a little bit of a preemptive what we're going to be looking at today, I'm just going to pull up page 23 of this affidavit in support. And we're going to look at how Karl and Shuli's attorney addresses that. So in the notice of motion, they described that there was a failure to name legal entities as defendants, and the complaint fails to allege that plaintiff has named non-legal entities TSN and WATP, which, as pleaded, cannot be sued. So at the bare minimum, this is saying that TSN and WATP are in the safety zone.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. And to be clear, I don't necessarily know if those are entities from a legal perspective. That's not something that's really relevant or any of my business. But I do find it funny that they jump to the conclusion to name them as defendants without doing that research into whether or not they're legal or business entities.
Without doing any research whatsoever. I do think that this is extremely, extremely relevant, and it lets us know how much Taber Benedict is very, very different from the attorney that Karl and Shuli have hired. So I thought that we would just talk a little bit about the difference between Taber, who is John's attorney, and Danny, who is Karl and Shuli's attorney.
Can I name one big difference?
Yes, please.
One of them didn't go to prison. But
That
guess
is
which
accurate.
one?
Yeah. Could you tell it all? Tookie, what about you? What are the differences that you know about these 2 guys?
I know that one is friends with Gary Delabate and the other is not.
That we know of.
Well, you know, Taber also, we know that he doesn't know how to spell his own name. And we also know that he was very famously disbarred from practicing law for quite a long time and sentenced to jail after critically injuring a bicyclist while drunk driving and fleeing the scene in 2011.
What's a bike doing in the road? Get out of the road! Taber's coming through.
Yeah, it's true. Get out of the way. It's obviously going to be working well for him. He did end up getting readmitted to the bar. In contrast, Danny is an attorney who specializes in criminal defense and civil litigation, and he has a really impressive
Smile.
resume. Did you got? Yes. Oh yeah, beautiful man. Look at him.
Handsome.
Look at him. Yeah.
I
He's
like
not
how
in a
you
nightclub.
chose these 2 pictures.
Thank
One,
you.
someone is mid motion, and the other, he's perfectly posing. It's very much the heel and the baby face. I love this.
I think Karl recently said on WATP in reference to the New York Post article that you can always tell somebody's slant based on what pictures they chose in order to exemplify something. So yes, that is Taber. He's at a party in that picture. He's getting interviewed, and he's actually explaining that he uses an alias in order to make donations, which is maybe the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my life, because when you make donations, you get a tax write-off. So I don't really understand that, but we've already talked through Taber being an idiot, so I'll leave that alone. Instead, I'll talk about how great Danny is. Danny, not only beautiful smile, he also is a legal analyst and columnist for MSNBC, NBC, CNBC, and I think, Tookie, that I heard you talking a little bit yesterday on Bedabbler about his relation to Howard Stern.
Yes, he's been a guest on the wrap-up show with Gary Delabate, former friend of Stuttering John Melendez, and John Hine. It's fantastic.
And I think that you can really see that Danny, that this motion to dismiss that we're going to be getting into, it was a labor of love. You can tell that he's following what's going on. He understands what's happening. And I'm going to guess that it is from those lovable days of the wrap-up show.
I'd like to think that he's a fan of ours because it looks like he took a lot of our advice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right, of course. We should actually introduce the fact Luigi is an attorney, Tookie is a puppet, and I am a legal assistant, which means that none of us have any credibility whatsoever except for the fact that we're always right, obviously. Yep, exactly.
It's on my business card.
Now, my first reaction to reading the motion and the supporting documents to the motion was, holy shit, Tabber isn't even going to understand a single word that exists within these documents at all. Did you guys get that feeling as well?
I was so shocked by how structured, formulaic, and honestly just beautiful these motions are all the documents that make up the motion. But what's really amazing is exactly what you said. Tabber's cause of original complaint was just so garbled, nonsensical, confusing, didn't make one clear point. This is the absolute opposite. This makes point after point after point. And I agree with you that he's not going to understand it. He's also not going to know offhand how to respond to it.
Yeah.
Oh, they got me with their legal mumbo jumbo.
This is going to be a challenge. Now, Tookie, how much of this have you read and what were your kind of initial reactions to it?
Honestly, I mostly read just the table of contents, and that was enough entertainment for me. Some things I did go to check out, like about the couch cushions,
of course,
and that kind of stuff. But I figured I'd wait.
The funny stuff.
Yes, I figured I would wait until we did it here, so I would be surprised and give my natural reaction.
There's a lot of good stuff in there, and we will be getting in-depth into the couch cushions, and I actually have the answer to what happened to the couch cushions after DabbleCon 2. So I have the official answer. Yep, I know. It's very exciting. I have photographic evidence of where they are.
That is fantastic. I was very curious. Will they be brought in as evidence?
I sure dang hope so, but it might be challenging. I have to say a very big thank you to Band Practice Guy for giving me those pictures. So we're going to be looking at those later when we start talking about the couch cushions, but they are wonderful. All right, so the defendants, Karl and Shuli, the Shuli Network, who are these podcasts? What are they doing right now? They are asking the court to dismiss John's first amended complaint, because remember, first he filed a complaint, then he had to file a second one because Tabber was an idiot and spelled his name wrong. So the complaint was based on New York civil rights laws, section 50 and 51. And what Karl and Shuli are doing is that they are asking the court to dismiss that complaint based on New York Civil Practices Law and Rules, or the CPLR, sections 3211A.
Of course.
And in addition to that, also New York Civil Rights Law, section 70A, which is all about anti-slap, which Luigi is going to give us a great definition to in a little while, but maybe a short definition right now?
Let me take care of this,
Luigi.
Here
you go. Please do.
I once again defer to my Shuli, Luigi Greenberg. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes. New York has a specific law that says that basically there were so many frivolous lawsuits filed in New York that New York got sick and tired of it and said that if a lawsuit is filed that tries to stifle any sort of First Amendment speech, protected First Amendment speech, that the person bringing the lawsuit can be liable for all lawyer fees and court costs. And when this was filed, this basically what you have to do is you have to set off an alarm, ring a bell and give notice to the court that I believe this was done specifically for those elements in the slap lawsuit. And that is what Mr. Savalos did. He said, I believe this qualifies for a slap lawsuit. Therefore, if we continue and it is found that it was a slap lawsuit, John owes the court its costs and Karl and Shuli's lawyer fees.
Yes. In addition to that, they're seeking a stay of proceedings. They're seeking an expedited decision. The way that they are doing this is under that CPLR 3211A. And basically what they're doing is they're asking the court to dismiss this lawsuit immediately before they filed an answer. So we talked a lot about the potential situation that they would be filing an answer, that Karl and Shuli would file an answer. Instead, what they did is they filed this pre-answer motion to dismiss, which is usually how it gets referred to. An answer is just a response to all of the allegations in the complaint. This pre-answer motion to dismiss is that and so much more.
I agree.
Luigi or Tookie, could you just define what a motion is?
I'll defer to Tookie on this one.
Excellent.
A motion is when something moves.
Oh, baby.
It is a request of the court.
It is a request of the court
under the procedural rules.
Procedural rules.
Yes.
Excellent. Yes. So this is actually requesting that the court do something. In this case, again, what Karl and Shuli are requesting and what they are together arguing with all of these subsections is that the video evidence proves that John's claims are false, that the court lacks jurisdiction of all of the invalid and therefore all of the invalid claims should be dismissed, and that the complaint is legally insufficient. And again, that anti-SLAPP lawsuit, which Luigi has already explained. So before we get into all of the extra exciting stuff that we are going to be talking about and looking at the lawsuit itself and going through it and enjoying all the joyous, funny times where Danny was perfectly eloquent in his undercutted jabs, we are going to take a peek at a few super chats here. Mm-hmm. So first we have Frank coming in with a super sticker. Thank you so much. And then coming in a second time with $1.99 for Tookie is kooky for Bagookie.
Yay! Did
is
you
it
say
true?
Video evidence?
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh, you haven't seen the video evidence yet?
Yes, of course. I was just trying to hype it up for the listeners.
Oh, you're gonna have
kooky
so
for Bagookie.
much
He was
fun.
doing pre-promotion.
Yes, it's gonna be great. All right, we have salty name redacted, $2. Thank you so much. Kaylee FKB called you a cunt, really? Oh, I'm impressed that he knows who I am. So, yay, that sounds great.
Winning.
I'm actually very proud of that. Drunk Engineer, $5. Wait, I thought this Dabbleverse was about furry conventions. I feel deceived. I can't believe I've wasted so much time here. It's a shame, I know, but we accept you anyway.
There's corners.
A queef in the night with $10. Thank you so much. Hi, John. Hi, John's lawyers. Don't go drunk driving this weekend. That's good advice for both of them, actually. Anyway, hi, Kaylee, Tookie, and Luigi. Gonna order some Obama fried chicken.
I know that was the worst example I could have done, but you know what I mean.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
I didn't mean it that way.
Michael Gavinelli show, $5. Hi, Michael Gavinelli. The Dabbleverse is mainly started with Stuttering John and then to continue with Opie, Steel Toe, Chad, KB, and some Dabbleverse character due to Stuttering John. Yes, and of course, we can never forget that Chrissy coined the term Dabbleverse, or at least the Dabble part of the Dabbleverse.
I love that it hurts him to admit that. I love that so much.
Well, again, seeing him try to define it in his own complaint was like the most absurd shit that I've ever seen. It's comically bad. Next, we have Jess coming in for $4.99. Thank you so much. Haters keep bringing up SJ did not consent to the tapes. He knew they were recorded, would be used for making money. Can you explain why that doesn't matter? We absolutely will be explaining why that doesn't matter. There is an excellent section of the Memorandum of Law, which is one of the parts of this motion, and that discusses a lot about the difference between profiteering and trade, and so that's going to be an interesting part of our discussion.
There's a lot to discuss there, a lot to unpack.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. Next up, we have General Bam, $1.99. Shuli Affidavit claims he's 5'9". Turns out that Karl is taller than Shuli. That's all that we've learned today. Let's compare legs next. MJK Rigging, $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. the wonderful Donna G for $19.99. Got my popcorn and a warm beverage settled in for this. Thank you again for breaking this down. I don't have any popcorn right now, but I'm hungry. Nigsaw not being so very nice. And then Nigsaw being very nice. Thank you so much for the $50. And
I believe there's a playful rivalry.
Oh, come on. I could never believe that. I would never say such words about Donna G. I love her so much, but I'm going to put it back on the screen for another minute. Oh, no. It's there again for some reason. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up, Rumble Link Friday, Thursday. We have... This is not real. None of this is real. It sure does feel like we're in a fever dream right now, doesn't it? But I assure you that all of this is real and that it really has been filed with the New York State courts. And we can all still hope that Tookie will have to testify.
It's all real stupid.
Yes, it truly is. You know what, actually? Let me ask you a question. What's the dumbest court case in the Dabbleverse right now? Tookie?
This one, I guess. Right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's got to be. Luigi?
Yeah, this one.
It's close in all of them.
Well, the HROs are bad. Yeah, the HROs are really dumb, too.
I had to think about it, but I'm settling on this one being the stupid one. Stupidest one.
It's literally two guys who are going to great lengths and clogging up the court systems. Literally clogging up the court systems. I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to see any of the HRO hearings. But yeah, both of these parties, Aaron Imholt and Stuttering John, taking the same tactics.
Hurt
At
feelings.
least John's looking for money.
Yeah,
this is the ridiculous combination of like a mashup of a YouTube beef with law school textbook is what we are currently in the convergence of, which is the craziest thing that I have ever had to think about. That's
20 years from now,
stupid.
There's going to be a great documentary about all this.
I really hope so. I hope it's way sooner than 20 years. We're all going to be dead by then. Come on.
It's just very stupid that it's all getting into real life legal
very stupid
shit. Like, this is all supposed to be fun, like literally. Like, all it is making fun of people on the internet who put things on the internet to make fun of. We wouldn't know what's going on in your personal life if you didn't talk about it.
Yeah, freaking Streisand affecting all over the place. So many rakes. Jay Wolfenstein, $5. Thank you so much. Just got here. 2-word definition of Dabbleverse. Congealed stupidity. I don't know if that's an insult to all of us or to everybody else or what, but I love it and it is perfectly concise.
I'll go with it.
Skoongili, yes. Skoongili stupidity.
$2. Luigi is the sexiest voice in the Dabbleverse. I mean, Lucy Typebox. Skull.
Thank you, Mule.
It's true. Luigi sounds wonderful, always. That's exactly why Tookie just recently had him only be a voice, right?
That's right.
That voice.
That's what I was told.
Very ugly.
Just for $1.99. If SJ is hiding money with ASTA, then how do they get the money? That is a great question. How do we get money? And I actually don't have that in my notes, so maybe we want to address a little bit about that right now. Let's say that Karl and Shuli prevail in this lawsuit, and the court does actually award them money, and John doesn't have any money. What do they get? What is their recourse?
Tookie, would you like to take this one? I can just go with it if you like.
Okay. I will. If you look at Seinfeld versus Costanza, you would know that John would then become their butler for a substantial amount of time, whatever the judge sees fit.
Yes.
Again, we've seen that in the past, and that is what would happen.
He's right.
You.
Do you think that they would want that?
Yes.
Can you imagine John as your butler?
Content for years. Yes.
No, I wouldn't want John in my house. He'd infect everything.
All of a sudden, there's cat poop when you don't have a cat, is what happens when John is your butler. Luigi, give us the real answer.
I might let John get on all fours and let me put my feet up on his back or something, but that's about it.
I wouldn't want to touch his back.
Essentially, every state is going to have its own rules, but basically what's going to happen is that if there is in fact a court-ordered award to Karl and Shuli, they would have to essentially create a payment plan like any other type of payment plan, but it'd be registered with the court. Essentially, they would have to keep the court updated for all of the years necessary to let it know whether or not there is compliance versus non-compliance on payments, and move on from there. But that's really outside the scope of this because we need to first establish that John owes them money. So I don't want to focus too much attention on that yet. but I do hope we will eventually get to it.
All right, Count Connor 199. The very heavy-hitting question here. Tookie, if you are called as a witness, would you wear a suit?
I don't know if I would get a suit. Maybe I'd try to get like a kid's suit or something, but definitely a tie. I would put a tie on Tookie. And
bow tie.
I would listen, I go a lot of places with Tookie. Tookie is my emotional support puppet. I do believe that the court systems will recognize my need to have my support puppet with me.
They will accept Tookie in the same way that we all accept Tookie. Tookie is the best. There's no, it would be impossible not to love you.
Yeah, we're going.
Hamilton Burger coming in for $2 Canadian. Motion to have Stuttering John's suit dismissed as late and gay. Yeah, I would agree to that. That seems reasonable. It would have been a much shorter motion, and we would be having a much shorter stream this evening if that was the case. We're probably going to be going for at least another hour here. So... Woody from Syracuse, 199. Hi, Miss Lucy. Can't wait to do a review with you. I can't either, Woody. I have been putting you off. I'm sorry. It's been a very busy couple of weeks, unsurprisingly. Next up, Club 102, Redusta's hottest gay bar for $10. If the judge awards Recetus. I know. As I was saying it, I was like, I'm not saying words at all. If the judge awards legal costs, can Shuli and Karl sell off the debt to fellow dabblers so we can pester John with collections letters, calls, and liens? I'd buy some debt if possible, just for the lulz.
I love that.
That's a very, very, very funny idea. I will say, though, I was looking up the lawsuit today, and for anybody who is not aware, there is a website where you can look up all of the filings for this lawsuit. It is called NICEF. And that is the New York court system's
electronic
filing website. And usually when I search that website, I just search for John Melendez. And so I pulled that up today. And one of the things I always do is I look if there's any new cases relating to John Melendez. And today I pulled one up and it was a collections case. And I was like, holy shit. It just got filed like yesterday. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane. But it wasn't him. So I was like, dang it. That would have been
you got me so excited.
I know. You should have seen me looking at it. Jesus. I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. Tex Hula for $5. Thank you so much. The Dabbleverse is the most entertaining thing to happen in the courthouse in years. I bet they see a lot of crazy shit in there. Spider McGee for $1.99. Tabber Benedict shouldn't be readmitted to any bar. That is true. The physical ones or the legal ones. And My Cat Mouse for €7. Lucy talking to SJ would be a Dabbleverse classic. Just do it. I think that there's probably not enough money in the world for me to want to do that ever, is my guess. But I don't know. Now that KB has acknowledged my existence, maybe John finally will. Could be neat.
He's acknowledged you before.
John, hardly.
Yeah,
He goes, who is this? Who's that? Who, what is her name? And anytime that Clay brings me up, I don't know who that is. That's not an acknowledgement. Come on.
It's a little bit.
It's a little bit of an acknowledgement. All right, we need to actually get into all of this excitement. So we are going to be pulling up the affidavit in support. Now, there were quite a few documents filed along with this motion to dismiss. We're going to be starting out here with the affidavit in support. The affidavit in support is an affidavit signed by Karl and Shuli's attorney. So this is signed by Danny, and it is going to be outlining all of the most simple to understand arguments. And I mentioned before, I don't think Tabber is going to understand a single word in this. This is so well written and so legalese. There is much that I don't understand in here.
And so structured. That's what that like totally pleases my OCD brain. It's so structured. It's a work of art.
I could not agree with you more. So one of the things that Danny does very nicely in this lawsuit on behalf of Karl and Shuli is that he actually outlines the different counts that John made in his original complaint. So the first count was that there was a violation of New York civil rights law sections 50 and 51. I've said that 1,000 times. You guys are all bored of me saying it. Which that is, of course, the right to publicity and privacy. And the argument against that is that the complaint fails to state a valid claim based on CPLR 3211A. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what
I knew they'd do that.
Do you know what that basically means, Tookie? It means
Yes. But why don't you tell everyone?
it means you were not able to
Me?
gather your thought. I'm sorry. It means John was not able to gather
Thank you.
his thoughts well enough to actually articulate what was wrong and why he is a victim to this violation, quote unquote, of
What?
law. So it's basically saying you went on a nonsensical rambling and therefore you never actually said what laws were broken and why, because you have to actually cite what the law is, the statute upon which it's based, the elements that all have been satisfied. He never did any of that.
Yep.
That's what that means.
Which is
course.
so beautiful. And
Yes.
of course, they detail it more. So we are actually going to be taking a look at this little section here in the affidavit in support. And it's so well outlined. It's so incredibly well outlined. But something that was shocking to me, and I believe also shocking to you, Luigi, and surely shocking to you, Tookie, because I think this will be the first time that you're hearing it, is that, as it turns out, a Florida resident cannot bring an action based on New York civil rights law sections 50 and 51, which means that John cannot bring this lawsuit because he was a Florida resident.
This is shocking to Tookie.
Now this is now we talked a lot in our couple of episodes about jurisdiction.
Yes.
But it turns out that our conversation about jurisdiction actually was way deeper and niche than we even realized. That Mr. Savalos did some real digging to find out that there is a New York specific law that outlines jurisdiction, even way more strict and way more distinct than anything that we thought it was. It's meaning way worse for John. And it specifically says that if you are a Florida resident, or I'm sorry, a resident of anywhere other than New York, you cannot bring this specific kind of lawsuit.
Yeah, it's
Fuck you, John.
crazy. It's
Fuck you,
crazy.
John.
Okay, so I'm going to read just a little section of this here. The New York Court of Appeals has made it clear that New York courts must apply the law of plaintiff's domicile to right of publicity claims. And then let me just scoot over to the next page here.
That's a big old boom and a mic drop.
It surely is. And then not only
Yeah, guys, right?
not only that,
Am I right, Tookie?
I've said it all along. I caught this very early on. If you recall, I was telling you this. I was like, hey, check out this part of the thing. I think there's something here that might be the smoking gun.
it's
this,
the
whatever we're
smoking gun.
talking
This is the first of many smoking guns, which is absolutely insane. So the next page reads, the Court of Appeals held that questions concerning personal property rights are to be determined by reference to the substantive law of the plaintiff's domicile, and that rights of publicity constitute personality. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. It's completely like what. We don't even need to go any further than that. Is basically what this is saying.
Here's something I do want to establish though for the audience that might not necessarily know some of the behind the scenes stuff for motions to dismiss. Let's just make this part clear. A motion to dismiss, for the most part, does not get granted. I'm going to probably say that somewhere between 85 to 90% of the time they are denied.
Yes.
Now, the issue is that when someone files a lawsuit, before we get to the actual trial proceedings, there is a constitutional grant to that plaintiff that basically says that anything leading up to that when a judge is reading it, he has to lean towards the plaintiff's arguments, basically giving preference and bias to the plaintiff as being true until we get to that point when all of the truth comes out. That's where we are right now. And this motion to dismiss is asking the court to throw this out, but the judge, again, completely legally and completely constitutionally, has to basically start from the bias that everything John said was right. So that's a big hurdle to argue to say, despite the fact that right now you are going to lean towards John being right, here are the reasons why this is not a valid lawsuit.
Yes.
So it's a big hurdle, and it's not always granted. Personally, I believe this has a better than 51% chance of getting granted because it is so clearly organized and articulated as to why this is all complete nonsense. But still, it's a flip of the coin. You never know what the judge is going to think, and these just don't typically get done. So I feel like we do need to kind of just state that to say that this is why there's so much argument here, because we have a very, very big hill to climb.
Absolutely. That is so perfectly said. And not only that, but typically in these sorts of motions, there are character limits. So, again, Karl and Shuli's attorney, Danny, only had so many words he could say. So that means that he really had to make every single word count, and boy, howdy, did he. Now, I really love here on our next page of this affidavit in support, it says that the plaintiff, aka John, knew that count 1 was unwarranted pursuant to CPLR 3211. And the reason that he knew this is because in his, quote, in his prior unsuccessful right of publicity lawsuit against SiriusXM, which was dismissed with prejudice and affirmed, plaintiff, aka John, conceded that as a California resident, California, not New York, right of publicity law applied, which means that John should have known better. They even go on, he should have known better that he couldn't have done this. Even if this is another quote from this here affidavit, even if this Florida resident could bring a New York right of publicity claim, Melendez failed to plausibly allege any use of his name or likeness in that segment from or beyond the rebroadcasting in whole or in part of copyrightable material at any of the defendant's events or broadcasts. Melendez was on notice from his SiriusXM case that his right of publicity claims are expressly preempted by the Copyright Act.
Now, something you just said was that John should have known.
Yes.
It's not even that John should have known. John was told and does know. And that is actually something that also gets mentioned by saying John is wasting the court's time because it's not even a should have known. He was directly made knowledge of this.
Yeah, but what if he was drunk at that time and he doesn't remember?
I think that's Taber's excuse too.
There is a motion to plead
also
drunkenness.
should know this. Taber should also know this.
But you know what is so beautiful about this is that normally when these motions are made, you have to cite all of this case law that can just get overwhelming and talk about cases that you know nothing about and have to research those cases. He is citing a John Melendez case against John Melendez.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's like a sun coming down through clouds on a rainy day. It's so beautiful. Right, Tookie? Am I right?
Yes.
This is one of my favorite quotes. It's from page 5 of this affidavit in support. After the Southern District of New York dismissed John's claims relating to all the SiriusXM stuff, and the Second Circuit upheld the dismissal with prejudice, plaintiff should have known better. He did not. That is in our legal proceeding right here. He is again tilting towards the proverbial windmill with more improper right of publicity claims. Boom.
John is stupid.
Taber is stupid too, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't have anything against Taber. He's just dumb.
Yeah, and maybe manipulated. I think we can all possibly agree on as a possibility. I don't know.
Well, we've talked about this before. The history of John's lawyers. John doesn't ever invest in lawyers. John wants lawyers who are either going to do work for free or that he's connected with, and he gets what he pays for. Again. Am I right, Tookie?
You got it, boss.
Be my hype man. Come on. Or be our hype man.
That's fantastic.
All right, we got to talk about, so that was talking about count 1 of this lawsuit. We got to talk about counts 2 and 3. So count 2 was the misappropriation of common law right to publicity, which basically means that Karl and Shuli used John's likeness without the permission.
Can we emphasize that real quick, just what you said? I'd like to just emphasize it. If there was just a way to bring attention to what you just said. That is number one. No, that is number 1. And it's already overwhelmingly showing that this is nonsense. But we've only gotten started. there is more nonsense. If that's not clear enough to throw this fucking stupid lawsuit out, there's more reasons.
Yes.
I'd like to emphasize that.
One of the reasons that all of these things are in here is, again, because attorneys don't get a second bite at the apple. They got to put all of the information in there as soon as possible. Luigi, you and I talked a whole bunch about the statute of limitations within our previous episode because somebody asked a great question about the statute of limitations. And one of the things that happens in this motion is that they do preserve the right to potentially raise the statute of limitations defense later. They don't go into detail about it now, but they say, hey, this might be a thing that we want to look at.
Now, I was curious about that, and that might be a New York procedural issue because of the word limits, but I really didn't know why they wanted to do that, but I feel like this is a good enough argument, so who cares?
Yeah, there's a lot of good arguments in there.
Yeah.
All right, so count three.
Right, Tookie?
Hey, that's why you're my Shuli.
Perfect.
Count 2 is the misappropriation of common law right to publicity.
Of course.
So we've got misappropriated by John. John used it incorrectly. And then count 3 is unjust enrichment, a.k.a. that Karl and Shuli profited from using John's identity and that it's unfair of them to keep the money, which the arguments against these are very obvious, it feels like to me. They're basically saying, go ahead.
Let me just say one thing real quick, is that you're right. He is saying it is unfair, but unfair does not mean against the law. And he does not cite a law. There's no law cited that was violated to suggest that they should be liable under the law. He just basically does exactly what you said and just says, I don't like it, which is not good enough. You have to state a cause of action underneath a specific law. And it doesn't do that.
What Danny, Karl, and Shuli's lawyer is arguing is that there isn't a valid legal claim in New York at all, and that count 3, it doesn't meet any of the basic requirements, so all of these things should just get tossed out. Like, we're just done. We're done here. That's it.
Right, Tookie?
Yay. I've been saying it since day one. This is bullshit. It's ridiculous. Come on, Judge. Throw it out. What?
I am excited. We don't have a judge assigned yet. I'm excited to see which judge gets assigned to this case. There's a lot of very, very, very old judges in New York County. I wish it was Judge Judy. Can you imagine Judge Judy slapping Stuttering John down? Because
I would love it.
I'm going to dream about that tonight.
Wait a minute. Shouldn't we be contacting these court shows and letting them know that this is... Those are always small claims, right? This is beyond. This is not small claims when you're looking for $600,000.
Yeah. I think those are like within 1,000 or something like that.
And the intent of this motion to dismiss is to get everything thrown out before it goes to trial. So the goal of this is we don't want to go to court. This is so much nonsense, and it is such a waste of time. We shouldn't even go to court. That's basically what this is saying.
Pretty much. And then it's also really kind of twisting the knife also a little bit and saying, look, we've already established this shouldn't go to court, but if that's not convincing enough, well, hell, we got more, and we're going to show you just how stupid John is.
Oh, yeah, baby. It's great. I love it. I'm so happy today. Are you guys
I really
happy?
am too. This makes me so happy, yes. I'm very... And you, Tookie?
Tookie's dog died, so he's a little sad. But yeah, other than that, very happy.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's okay. I ran her over with my car.
Oh, no, don't tab her on things. Why would you do that? Very inappropriate.
Pooped on my rug.
Oh, okay. In that case, it was deserved.
No, everything is fine. This joke is going nowhere. My dogs are fine. Dogs are fine, everybody.
All right, back into the affidavit of support. That's how we'll transition out of that. We are looking at page 8 now, and this is going to be the defendants talking about the use being public interest based on John's own claims. So I'm going to read a quote here, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Melendez, by his own allegations and admissions, is a celebrity and public figure, quote, admired by tens of millions of fans.
I love it.
Now, what we're setting up here is that if he is a public figure, then he doesn't get to invoke sections 50 and 51 because they're all about the right to privacy publicity.
Yeah.
Where are these tens of millions of fans? I've seen 343 show up to his live streams and maybe 12 to his live shows. Tens of
Listen.
millions of fans.
There's so many. I can't believe you didn't even know that about him.
And I'm sorry to jump around, but I do want to just emphasize your point. But let's see, in the memo of the motion to dismiss on page 9, it specifically says Melendez. This is Melendez insists he is a celebrity, a public figure, a person of interest, and admired by tens of millions. That insist is just what got me. I loved that so much. He insists.
So good.
But he is a celebrity, right? I mean, he was literally on that show, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I think that doesn't work well for our friends Karl and Shuli.
But it's the combination of things. He's saying, okay, maybe one of these is true, but not all of them. So he's saying he insists that he is a celebrity, a public figure, a person of interest, and admired by tens of millions. But here's the thing. Guess what? That works against him in this case. That's exactly what we're saying, but we're joking. But I love that there's just a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a twist of the knife, just saying, all right, if this guy's going to insist that he's a celebrity, then we're going to use the rules of celebrity against him. So.
If he is not going to be his biggest supporter, then who the hell else is going to be? He needs to look in the mirror and tell himself every morning, I have tens of millions of fans. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, everybody likes me. He needs to be Stewart. Like, that's his only way of surviving, right?
Yes.
I mean, but it's amazing. I guess it's amazing as a person who just loves to look in retrospect on some of these things, that every move he makes is the wrong move for the things he wants to accomplish. So him saying that he's a celebrity, him, trying to prove that he knew about the tapes, everything he does is a rake that hits him right in the fucking ugly, sweaty face.
And paragraph 24 pretty much defines those rakes. It says plaintiffs, aka John's, allegations to his own celebrity, significant fame, and public career as a well-known figure in comedy and broadcasting establishes him as a newsworthy subject and a person of interest for the purposes of CPLR 3211. So again, that is just, hey, you said that you're famous? Sure, you're famous. We're going to take your word for it. We're going to let you have that one, buddy. You can have it.
And now you get to have the rules that apply to celebrities.
To famous people.
Like Tookie.
So,
best of luck, John.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we are going to be getting into the surreptitiously recorded tapes by Kate Meany. We are going to be showing the video that has been seen around the world, apparently by everybody but Tookie. So Tookie, I cannot wait to show you this smoking gun. But before we do that, we are going to read some more super chats. So something to look forward to very, very much.
We need to introduce Tookie as being an expert at puppet law. Would you like to be an expert at puppet law, Tookie?
What the hell is puppet law?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the expert.
Oh. No, I have to pass. I'm very busy. Thank you for the opportunity, but I have to pass.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, Tickle Me Tookie, hello, and thank you so much for the $10. My job is creating Magic the Gathering cards. Does that impress you? Can I have a date? Hacka.
Yes.
I do like Magic the Gathering. It's been a long time since I played. Anyways, Barrister 1401, $20. Thank you so much. I am suing Lucy for causing me to splooge all over my expensive suit pants. I'm sure we can work out a payment plan. Listen, I'm surprised that you're wearing your suit pants at this hour.
Is that something you could sue for?
You can sue anybody for anything. Oh, do you have your wet brain deck? Yay!
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Tookie has his wet brain deck.
The Magic the Gathering made me think of Wet Brain. I can't remember the website because it's stupid and difficult to remember.
It's true. Dr. Steve, amazing job.
Dr. Steve created Wet Brain. It is the first Dabbleverse related card game. Yes. It's a lot of fun to play with your friends and your dead grandma.
I don't know if I'm entirely spoiling this, but I will tell you that he has another game. Some of us have played it in Vegas.
Oh, the
Dabble
dice
Dice.
One?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Dabble Dice, I believe, is making a triumphant return, so I suspect that there will be lots of information about that soon. When I get the link for Wet Brain, I will put it down in the description of this video, so if you are watching after the fact, you can find that easily. All right,
They're negotiating with Pete Davidson to be the official space of Dabble Dice. It's very exciting. Big things happening.
It's a crazy time in the Dabbleverse. It truly is. Craig, New York, $4.99. Thank you so much. Sorry I can't watch live. We'll watch replay. Gotta listen. Kumia at 8. Keep killing it, guys. Lucy, we gotta talk movies. So many I want to recommend. I respect and adore all of those words. Thank you so much.
I don't want to ruin Kumia's show, but spoiler, the blacks are ruining everything.
How could you possibly know that that's what he's saying right now?
It's impossible. It's a rerun.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Tim Bullinger, thank you so much for thank you so much for the $9.99 is the words that I'm trying to say after that. Hello. Hi. How are you? And we have the wonderful Raper Butt in the chat here for $1.99. Tabber is watching to learn what it all means. I would not be surprised if that were the case. I will be very, very happy if he ever understands even the words that we're saying right now. Crusher17 for $5 Canadian. Thank you so much. Did either of you remember to look at Stuttering John versus Vince the Lawyer lawsuit starting Section 38 and how it was similar to Karl and Shuli's? I did not specifically check that out. Luigi, are you aware of anything about that?
I've heard the theories, but the truth of the matter is I don't really even need to reference it because I believe it. That was part of all the things that I said from the very beginning was that it was very suspect. So I don't need to be convinced.
Yeah, it definitely is suspect. Jay Wolfenstein from $5. Congealed stupidity comment was not an insult, just the truth. I wasn't offended, but I wasn't even offended by KB calling me a C word. I'm very not easily offended. We don't know why we watch this train wreck. We just do it. That is so accurate. We absolutely do. General GK for $5 Canadian. In an alternative timeline, John responded to Karl's initial mockery with grace and good humor, and there is no Dabbleverse. I am glad that we are in this one. Thank God that we are in this universe. It is the dang best. For all of us, except for Karl and Shuli. And maybe Melton right now is not having a great time. Maybe Nick or Kata. I don't know. Different lawsuits. Tony Baloney for $1.99. Hey guys, I forgot you were on. Sorry. Lucy Tightbox World Order. Thank you. Rumble Link Friday, Thursday, $4.99. SJ is a citizen of the world, you ditzy bird. Jurisdict John's giant harg. He does what he wants. It's got to be true. He said it. Oh, the wonderful Casey Armstrong here for $1.99. Lucy and guys get it. You rule. Casey, nice to see you in the chat there. Assuming that is the real you. But I think
Casey just say he was going to rape us, Luigi?
Anyway. I believe that's what that meant.
Thank you.
That's
Hi,
how you know it's the real Casey.
Hi, Casey.
Casey was a pleasure to meet in AC. I wish I could have hung out with him more.
You got to meet him in person in AC?
Yes!
I didn't know that. Oh, my God.
It was fantastic. And then we went up to Vince the Lawyer's room to watch Ray DeVito do stand-up. And it was fantastic.
What a world. What a world. You guys are doing that again this year?
I believe so, yes. Yes, we are.
You weirdos. Christopher Martin, $10. Thank you so much. Leave it to Shuli to trip over $1 to pick up a penny by hiring non-Shuli lawyers. He hires a Mexican and the Gooks of Hazard, who's an analyst on MSNBC. P.S. I love the show. You guys are great. Thank you so much. We always accept insults and compliments in the same sentence over here. They're wonderful. Jay Wolfenstein for $5. I don't believe Luigi is a real lawyer. Where's your lawyer shirt, virtual boy? Your Honor, I rest my case.
Give me a second.
Oh, no. He's going to put on the shirt.
It is interesting that Shuli did go with a Mexican lawyer. I didn't even think of that.
Listen, it's important to make decisions about your life. I think he went with the perfect lawyer. He went with the Howard Stern lawyer.
I mean, that's like drafting a Jew in the first round of the NBA draft. What are we doing?
Sorcerer for $4.99. Thank you so much. This is by far the most interesting coverage of this issue. And Tookie is here. That's why it's so interesting, actually. Yay!
And informative. Thank God I'm here to spread all this legal mumbo jumbo for you idiots to understand.
It's really appreciated.
Thank you.
Josh O for $2 Canadian. I just splooged constitutionally speaking. Yes, of course. That is the only way to do it, in fact.
We're disgusting.
Queefer, Adam Bush's #1 fan, Stutherland.
Don't read it all. You're just giving him what he wants.
Well, listen, leave me alone.
I do the same thing. No, I do the same thing. And halfway through it, I'm like, why do I always read your stupid names? He changes them every week, and every week they just get longer and stupider.
Tookie, that's what the Dabbleverse is all about. We're supposed to be having fun with dumb names all the time.
Yes.
What is
Enjoy it.
MX20?
Be along for the ride. I don't know. Mexican dollars?
Yeah,
Is it
Mexican
pesos? Oh my
20
God, maybe
cents.
it's Danny. Nice puppets. Tookie is cool too. Hashtag, I can't. Luigi's the fag. TWO.
Hey, truth is
Stand
truth.
back, stand by.
Manigan, a Quinn Martin production, $5. How does Drunky plan to prove that Karl and Shuli were enriched by using his name, likeness, and or voice recordings? That's a great question.
He
Luigi?
doesn't think things through.
Didn't Shuli get a second pool?
Yes.
Karl's
All right.
got 2 houses.
Yes,
I
there we
mean,
go. Case closed. How does
it's
Shuli
very-
own 2 pools?
Very damning. Very damning.
Heated.
Mule for
They're
$2.
heated.
My God, Luigi's voice is so sexy. I mean, Lucy Tightbox. Skull.
Expect a link later, Mule.
Jason Coward for $5. Oh, I thought this was once over with Hack the Movies. My bad. We never speak nicely of Tony on the last day of Boys Month. We don't do that. Also, he's going to hate you so much for not listening to Boys Month and instead listening to me. But we do love Tony from Hack the Movies over here. Tickle Me Tookie for $5 more. Hey, Luigi, I create Magic the Gathering cards. Does that impress you? Want a sword fight in the men's bathroom at Home Depot? Why
I don't
do
need to
men
be
all love
impressed to
Home
want a
Depot?
sword fight.
Real quick, I have a
Spy report. Spy report.
out of
Ooh.
all your beautiful listeners. I mean, you have over 11. That is fantastic. Chad Zumach is out there, and he says, the show sucks. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
He
no.
He said, the show stinks. So,
Oh my
hi,
God.
Chad.
And did he tell you who to be friends with? Are we allowed to be your friends?
Go to patreon.com/World War Z and sign up for my best friend, Tookie's best friend, Chad Zumach's Patreon. Sorry, I had to give that.
How
to
are
my
you
buddy.
not scared for your life?
Shut up. You're just scared of friendship.
What an exciting day. Chad Zumach, KB. It's just everything's coming up Millhouse today. I love
Everyone is
it.
paying attention. They
Chad
love
does
it.
not
I
like
know.
me. Anyway.
Well, you know. Spider McGee for $1.99 this fall on NBC. Tookie for the defense. I would definitely watch that. Brian Workman for $2. What is the end of the suit that you each favor? Favor? Karl and Shuli kick ass.
Karl and Shuli take Asa Melendez's home.
John gets the lethal injection.
Rumble Link Friday, Thursday, $1.99. After the anti-slap, does Shuli get SJ's channel?
Who would want
think
it?
Anybody wants that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'll take it. Tookie wants it.
What would you do with it if you got it?
Oh, I would rebrand it as a Tookie only channel where we only talk about how much we miss Stuttering John and what a great guy he is. And how he was just misunderstood.
I'm actually really in support of that. I would watch
Yeah, all right.
every single day.
All right.
I
You
like
convinced
it.
me.
I like it. I support it. I support it. All right, Big Daddy Dodo for $4.99. Oh, hey guys. Hello. How are you? And Johnny Russo for $5. What are the odds that Stuttering Jay is ordered to pay for Shuli/Karl's lawyer fees? With Prejudice should be the title of John's next self-published book. I don't think he has that good of a sense of humor. We've talked a little bit about his lawyer fees before, but Luigi, I am going to let you field that one.
I don't think there's a huge chance of it actually happening. The weirdest part about making any kind of prediction right now is this motion to dismiss is so well done, but it is basically a great fantastic player in a rigged game where, like I said earlier, motions to dismiss aren't normally granted. So, but this one is so well done, I would just love to see it granted because it really lays out what we believe to be the literal absolute truth when it comes to John's case, which is it's nonsense. It's not based in any law. It's just nonsensical ramblings. And he lied.
So if it
Go
was
ahead.
dismissed right now, would John be responsible for everyone's legal fees and court fees?
That's a great question.
Tookie, that is a great question. And I was actually just about to add on to Luigi's point. Now, let's say that the court grants this motion to dismiss. They might grant some portions of it and not grant other portions of it. So again, what Karl and Shuli are requesting is they want this action to be dismissed with prejudice. They want it to be, the complaint to be considered to be legally insufficient. They want that anti-SLAPP stuff to happen. However, the court might agree to some of those points, disagree with some of those points. They've asked for the case to be dismissed with prejudice, which means that a lawsuit cannot be filed again. However, the court might say, yeah, well, we're going to dismiss it without prejudice, which means that John could potentially bring another lawsuit. The court can do whatever the heck that he wants to do, or the judge wants to do.
Spy report.
Another
sorry,
one?
I kind of hit that on accident, but yes, it kind of is. I am speaking with a legal expert, if you will, who is saying you don't have to be a New York resident to file a Section 51 case. It's literally written in the law.
So I have not looked into this a ton, and I have heard both arguments. Now, again, Danny, Karl and Shuli's attorney, is making the argument that you do have to be that resident. All of this at this point is allegations and arguments. John says this, and Karl and Shuli say this. Now, what is the judge going to decide? My answer to that almost always is, well, did the judge get his morning blowy? That is going to 100% determine the outcome of this case. That is how happy the judge is, the correct side of it, waking up on the right side of the bed. We are going to have to wait to see what the judge thinks about the arguments that Danny, who is Karl and Shuli's attorney, makes.
But here's the thing also is, yes, that is, let's just say for a second that it's not the case, that you still can bring it, okay? The thing is, we've also called subject matter jurisdiction into question with this motion to dismiss. So while we whatever reason, your source is saying that it isn't allowed, there are other issues of subject matter jurisdiction, specifically the fact that John filed this in the wrong county, which is another issue of subject matter jurisdiction. Or personal jurisdiction. But that could also be the reason that this gets dismissed, because of the fact that everything happened in, what was the name of the county that it happened?
So the DabbleCon was held in Monroe County, and this lawsuit was filed in New York County. And for people who don't know, there's about a 5-hour drive in between those two places. Monroe County is substantially closer to Canada than it is to New York County. So that kind of gives you a lay of the land of why that is so egregious.
Yeah. So while calling this particular law into question about jurisdiction, it also raises the issue of jurisdiction. So let's just say, for instance, like you're saying, that it's not allowed, we still have the issue of jurisdiction up, and the judge may simply say, well, this is not the right place to file this because DabbleCon and the long-arm statute, as we discussed in part 2, I can go into it again if we want, but I'm not, unless we need to, that there are long-arm statutes that basically just say you're allowed to bring it where the majority of the incidents that led up to this lawsuit took place, and that was not New York County. So there's that.
All right, we're going to pause a little bit on the Super Chats because I cannot wait to talk about the next section of this lawsuit. So I am going to go ahead and pull back up our affidavit in support, and we're going to hop on over to here. And we are going to talk about these surreptitious recordings by Kate Meany. So this is where we are going to get into the now infamous video that was found by the amazing Frog from the Shuli Network. This portion of the lawsuit reads, on December 16th, 2025, it means 2024. Yes, there is a typographical error in this lawsuit. Melendez publicly released a video of himself admitting that he always knew, consented to, and intended that Kate Meany, A, would record his calls, B, would provide them to the defendants, and C, that the defendants would publish them. The entire basis of his claims relies on the fact that this video does not exist. And unfortunately for him, that did not work out so well because the video does exist. And we are going to watch it. However, I want to draw your attention to this beautiful little photograph here on the right-hand side of the affidavit of support. Let's look at that actually a little bit bigger. Let me see if I got that in a slightly bigger size. Here we go. All right, so this is image number 2, and it says, Melendez focuses on a clock on a computer screen to establish the date and time of whatever the heck he's doing here. This is the best picture that I've ever seen in my life. The screenshot that Danny, Karl and Shuli's attorney, has chosen to include has, what are those, pill bottle caps? You got a couple of Mick Ultra cans.
This is how John presents his defense.
It's amazing. I can't say how much I love that.
A lot of booze.
Yeah, it's a lot of booze.
Booze in a coffee can. I feel like that's a piece of art.
Again, so Tookie, I think that you can understand how crazy this is because so much of the complaint that John alleged, so much of the allegations in the complaint were that Karl and Shuli obtained these recordings illegally, that they did not have his permission to play them. And now we're going to look at the centerpiece of the defense's argument, which is this 3-minute video that undercuts John's entire case. I mean, he really has absolutely nothing after this video. So let's check out this beauty here.
Maybe John can plead insanity.
Today is December 16th.
It's possible.
Because he still wears his high school ring.
That's not the only reason.
That's the date. December 16th. Now I turn this around.
Way to go,
So
John.
he's proving us to all of us
All right.
what date it is.
That's the date. All right. Why am I doing this?
Because you're stupid.
Because I've been talking to Kate Meany. I know she's taping me. We've known since the beginning. I'm trying to feed as much nonsense as possible, and will continue to do it until she hands it over to Lady K or the shit layer or one of these fucking losers.
Oh, no!
To broadcast.
John, shut up!
We have the first part is I know she's recording me. The second part is I know that she's going to do this. It's
But I'm
coming.
letting you know for sure what the date is, because I don't want these people to say, oh, John didn't know. I knew from day one.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. Then why'd you say you didn't, John?
Because if someone's going to troll you, they're going to always troll you. So right now, I'll show you another way I can prove what date it is.
Oh, please.
Now we're on my Hard Rock. This is my Hard Rock betting site.
Jesus Christ.
They're going to send me a code. And I'm going to open it. There it is. Nice.
Getting the code.
Now,
Very important.
look at my live bets. My live bets right here. Let's see. Where are my bets?
Doing a lot of work to prove to
there.
us that it's December 16th,
Should have
2024.
my bets.
Thank God. Thank God he went through all
Where's
this
my
work
history.
to prove that this is real.
Thank you for
Let's
doing
see,
the
history
heavy
right
lifting,
here.
John.
Yes.
Bet history.
You're
Right
all
now.
good.
What's a Mick
You see, I
Ultra
got
in their
Justin
coffee
Jefferson,
cup?
Bears versus the Vikings.
I think
to
that's
score.
the full one.
I got
Ensure.
Oh, look
the
at
over
those
on the
pills.
Falcons
Christ.
Raiders game.
Oh,
I took
he
the
is a
Falcons. I
monster.
took the Vikings. Over 44 on the Vikings.
Now, so right now what he's doing in order to prove to us the dates is that he is showing us a sports betting website. Now, I know zero about sports. I know even less about sports betting, but I do know that Dabblers Anonymous has been talking about this specifically. And I believe that there are some Florida laws that require that all of your bets go through Hard Rock. And I also believe that at some point when he is doing this, he is using a site that is not legal to gamble on in Florida. So allegedly, he is doing something very illegal in this clip, in addition to handing over the best evidence ever that Karl and Shuli could have. This is just, there's nothing better than this clip.
Kings.
John, delete this video. Delete
I
it.
do want to do another bet, which I'll put down right now,
There's still time.
which will be
Even in John's defense,
now I'm
he's a
going to
slob.
bet anytime TD, and I'm going to say on Aaron Jones. So there it is.
Oh, that finger.
I'll bet $5,
Why focus on the finger?
5 large, and wunderbar. So now we know it is today. It is Monday night, or Monday afternoon, December 16th. So when she decides to release this tapes, and I'm telling her everything, I want to bang her on top of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Anything I can think of.
Romantic.
So there you have it.
Has he been crying? I'm very serious about that question.
You know, I'll keep this going. Today, if I talk to her, I'm going to say that I got hired I have an interview at a TV station for $80K a year, and I got an interview with a radio station. That's the new one I'll do today. Thank you. I also have it on
Thank you.
text of me saying, I know you're taping me. That I could prove as well. Thank
He's
you.
sweating from holding a phone.
You don't just think that those are the tears. So again, this video is it really is the cream of the crop here. It's the centerpiece of the whole thing. He's trolling himself in that video.
Rake. Big ol' rake. Everything is a rake. He just cannot help but like there is a just the way you think of like a field of landmines, there's just a field of rakes with John. That's all it
Spy
ever
report. Spy report.
is. What does Vince say now?
Okay. He is saying John knowing he was being recorded is literally irrelevant to his Section 51 claim. The test
Well, we agree.
the test is, did Karl and Shuli have consent from John to use his voice?
No, he's trolling you. That's not true because of the fact that that is a criminal matter. This is filed in a civil court. A criminal action has to be determined in a criminal court.
That's
that
what I
nothing
told
to do
him.
With this.
All right, I won't
Tukey's
interrupt
so
anymore.
smart. No, well, we love your interruptions, Tukey. All right, so
we don't like Vince's interruptions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll stop.
this is this section of the affidavit. This
Funny
has
to
like
me.
maybe this has maybe the best footnote that I have ever seen in any lawsuit ever. So you can see here. Let me actually pull up the page. I think
They
I'm not on
included
the
a
right
picture of
page here.
John's feet.
Ugh, gross. Please, let's hope not ever. Where the heck is it? I don't know where it is. Let me read it. What page is that on? It's gone forever now. Let me read the footnote. So it says this has to explain the nicknames that exist within the lawsuit. It says, as established by the accompanying 82825 affidavit of Philip Joseph Russo, Melendez uses, quote, Lady K as a nickname for Mr. Heberger to imply that Mr. Heberger is feminine, and Mr. Melendez considers that an insult. This is known in the community of broadcasters who cover Melendez. See the affidavit. Melendez uses shitweyer as a derogatory name for Mr. Egar. See the affidavit. This is known in the community of broadcasters who cover Melendez. See that affidavit. Again, that is just the joy that I get from Danny having to explain these nicknames in a serious court filing is the same joy that I feel like everybody always gets with the idea of Tookie and Cardiff testifying in any of these malarkey cases that relate to the Dabbleverse.
It's just fantastic that now we know why Karl is so feminine.
Yeah, it's because John calls him Lady K. It's in a court document.
I couldn't figure that out.
It has to be
I
true.
was always like, why does he keep calling him that?
It's on the
Now
record.
now I understand. John kept saying that wasn't the reason.
Well, it's very challenging to understand all of these things.
He said
you
it
know?
was because there was a woman that would come into his chat and he knew it was Karl. But now
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand. He's
I'm
trying to
glad
make
that this
Karl
is-
Would John
look like
lie?
a woman. Never.
I'm glad this has been so educational for Tookie today. Usually
fantastic.
Tookie educates us, but today Tookie's
Tookie's
learning
very
everything about
stupid.
Lady K.
Tookie's very stupid.
All right, so again, we just watched that wonderful video. We know that this lawsuit is going to be talking about what happens in that video, and they do. They outline exactly what happens within that video. The actual affidavit reads that plaintiff's 12/16/24 video proves conclusively that the complaint's allegations of illegal, non-consensual recordings on his phone calls are knowingly false allegations. Defendants respectfully submit that this alone warrants dismissal and costs pursuant to that CPLR 3211, as well as sanctions. There's also tons of info here about if those calls, if the Kate Meany tapes were illegally recorded, which, Luigi, I think you and I previously agreed on is just a bald conclusory statement.
Yeah, I don't
Go
get
ahead.
it. And again, it's so irrelevant to any of the causes of actions he claimed. A right to publicity has absolutely nothing to do with these alleged criminal acts that John is claiming. There was no reason to mention any of it. But since he did, it's now going to be used against him to say that, well, here are all the reasons why you're wrong, John. It's not just a blanket statement of you're wrong. We're going to explain why you're wrong. One, completely irrelevant to anything. Two, you're saying that these were illegal. Well, there's no determination of legality whatsoever. And in fact, you reported them to criminal agencies and they refused to act on them. So that means that you should draw the conclusion that they were not illegal, but you still continue to say it. So now, once you've now crossed that line, you are lying. And then you're actually even lying about whether or not they were done secretly. And now there's a lot of lies here. And so that's where that statement in the, I think that was the affidavit.
That was in the affidavit in support.
Specifically says that maybe there should be sanctions, which basically means maybe John needs to be punished for lying because of the fact that there's so much evidence to prove that he is in fact lying.
Didn't Comedy at the Carlson sell John's crispy chicken fingers entrees at both DabbleCons or whatever?
No, they sold Obama fried chicken.
Oh, that's right.
God, Tookie, you don't know anything about what's going on.
I don't. I'm so stupid.
Oh
Hey,
my God.
Kaylee, can you read a few super chats and check the private chat real quick, please?
Yes, I already saw the private chat.
Okay, I'm going to run to the restroom and be right back.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let me read some super chats. Let me figure out how to do that because I'm really good at things, you guys. It's wonderful.
This is
It's
character
going great.
dying.
Everything's great. There we go. Hands man, $2. Thank you so much. Great show. FSJ, agreed. Tim Bullinger, again for $4.99. Thank you so much. How many YouTube accounts does Vince the lawyer have? Over or under 100? Tookie, I'm going to let you answer that first.
Over.
It's definitely
Absolutely
over.
over.
There's no way in hell that it's not over. Not a chance in hell.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Count Drahoon presents the absolutely amazing Count Drahoon presents. I recently did an interview over with him, an interview with a vampire. Tookie World Order 222 Tookie World Order. I added that last part. Rumble Link Friday, Thursday, $1.99. Shut it, Tookie. Stop ruining our fun. Hashtag read my name. It's going to become a controversy, Tookie.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin all you law geeks, your show. I'm sorry. I know nothing. Why does
Tookie,
his character keep looking like it's dying? Did you see that?
You were just lashing out because of your dog.
Oh, because of my dog. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very sad.
All right, Sean, the producer, $4.99. Thank God Tookie is here with this I can't even read that far. Incisive legal knowledge. I'm sorry, Lucy and Luigi are slowing down your legal assessment, Tookie. Yeah, it's true. We couldn't do this without him.
Thank
Mule,
you.
$2. I will kneel
I will kill my wife.
Kill my wife for Luigi. I mean, Lucy Typebox. Give me a wink. Luigi, can you wink with that avatar? Oh, beautiful. What a good one.
Stop
Tony.
showing your wiener on Twitter, Mule. What is wrong with you?
Yes, that is very off-putting, Mule. It is funny though. I
do
laugh.
it. All right, Tony from Hack the Movies for $5. Jason Coward is now banned for watching a woman's channel and giving her money. Can I sue him for betrayal? It is the last day of Boys Month, Tony from Hack the Movies. I think you're gonna be okay. Next up, we have the one pun. Hello, $2. Everything is awesome. You're all rocking it today. Thank you so much. And we have Dave D for $50 Canadian.
Oh wow!
Tookie tampons for soup-sized flow. All proceeds go to the destruction of privacy and my personal enrichment.
That's
Beautiful.
fantastic.
I
Do we
love
know who
that.
the tampon was that went on with John? I missed that today.
I thought he said
I
it was
missed
Noga.
it.
The
Shuli's mom?
the person on X who spells their name Noga. That's what he said.
Shuli's mom back from the dead and ready to tampon. It's been a crazy, crazy week. Thank you so much again. We're going to pause for just a little bit on the super chats right now because we still have so much to get into here. And actually, the next thing that I am going to bring up is going to be the memo of law. So we've been looking mostly at the affidavit in support, but the memo of law has some really interesting stuff at it. Now, this is kind of the more legalese document of the bunch, but I love the bottom of this page right here. We were talking before about the phone calls, the Kate Meany phone calls being illegally recorded. However, even if they were, there is no liability for broadcasting illegal recordings. And so what this is talking about down here on the bottom of this page is that the Supreme Court of the United States has ruled stating that a defendant cannot be liable for broadcasting an illegal recording. So even if it was illegally recorded, doesn't matter. Throw it out.
Matter.
Forget about it.
Even if it's exactly it. First off, they weren't illegally recorded, but even if they were, there is no law written anywhere that says you can't broadcast them. And then, if that's not good enough, someone actually had a similar issue and took it to the Supreme Court of the United States, and the Supreme Court of the United States said, yeah, there's no law that says you can't do that, and it's not against the law.
Yep.
So fuck
Even
you,
if
John.
you make money off of it, that doesn't matter.
That was specifically what they said. So,
Yay!
so fuck you, John.
What
You're
if
getting
Shuli does it?
Tookie? Well,
Can Shuli do it? And maybe Karl could do it and Shuli can't? Is there
yeah.
a possibility of that?
There's
Is there
a
any way
possibility.
that Karl wins and Shuli loses?
I really wish that there was. Can you imagine if they turned their backs on each other during this?
Yes.
That's all you want, Tookie.
Throw him through the barbershop window, Karl.
All right, we're going back into the affidavit in support. And this is where Danny, Karl, and Shuli's attorney is going to hammer home that their content was mockery, ridicule, and satire. And they are going to lay out the framework of those words as being shielded by the First Amendment. It basically, this whole section kind of reads like, yeah, we're making fun of him, but that's legally protected. Which I just think that's a great legal argument.
Not just legally protected, specifically stated by John in his complaint that it is intended to satire John, and satire is protected speech. Once again, using John's own words against him.
Yes. I'm going to read the sections of this just because I think that they're funny to kind of all talk about as a whole. So the first section here says, the complaint, aka John's complaint, admits newsworthiness, public concern, comedy parody, that all of those things would exempt defendant's conduct from liability. Section B, plaintiff admits that he's a public figure, therefore Section A. Section C, complaint admits use was comedic. D, complaint admits that use was ridicule. I mean, these just keep going and going and going. Section E, complaint alleges mockery, and mockery is newsworthy. There is an excessive amount of the word mockery in this thing.
Yep.
I can't get over when legal documents are just silly is a very happy thing, right?
I love it. I love it so much. This is
So
art
much
for
joy.
me.
It truly is. It truly is. All right, Section F. The complaint incorrectly presumes newsworthiness requires a news broadcast. So that's saying it doesn't have to be on CNBC like how Danny is on CNBC in order for it to be a news broadcast.
It doesn't have to be on a program with news in the title to be newsworthy. And
Yes.
oh my God, it's just what do you have to say about that too?
I hate the news.
But you love the Dabbleverse.
Yes, I love the Dabbleverse news. It really is. This whole thing, I don't pay attention to what's going on in the real world. I believe Trump has arrested half the population, and all women are now born with penises or something. I don't know. That's what I'm up to date on.
It's all true.
Yay!
That's
All right,
what
I'm
I
up
hear.
to date.
All
Yeah,
right,
all
so
my news is Dabbleverse related.
My favorite sections of this, I'm just going to read a couple of quotes from it because I just think that they're so beautiful. Again, the first amended complaint alleges mockery, and mockery is newsworthy. That's just a great sentence. Like, I feel like I want that. You know how, like, women have, like, in their kitchen, like, the home is where the heart is. I want mockery is newsworthy. That's beautiful. And then comedy and ridicule and satire are in the public interest.
And specifically, we talked about the famous case that really opened the door for a lot of this, which was Falwell versus Hustler magazine.
Of course.
Tookie, can you give me the citation on that one real quick?
Yes, Falwell was coming out of a 7-Eleven when he slipped on a Hustler magazine and broke his back and then sued. Who's the guy from Hustler?
Larry Flint.
Woody
Larry
Harrelson.
Flynn, yeah.
Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
He sued him for a lot of money, right?
That's it. That's not what a citation is. But anyway, but yes, that's exactly what it is that he was mocked and he didn't like it. And it was so obviously an attempt to exactly what this is, ridicule and mock. But what's just so brilliant about this, so brilliant, is that it just takes every bullet shot from John, catches it in the air, turns it around, and throws it right back at John. Because John is the one who used these words. Fucking idiot.
The court basically says you're not allowed to be a butthurt baby.
Yeah. That's it.
That's yeah, I know. It's beautiful. The court is so smart. I'm not a big fan of the judicial system, but I will admit that the court sometimes gets it right. I
What
want to
about
talk
the Jews?
don't forget Tookie. I am also a Shuli.
Oh, I forgot.
Jurors.
I gotta get off the show. Hey, Tookie's gotta go.
Tookie,
I have an
jurisprudence.
image. I have an image.
I
Now,
know. Andrew here with a Greenberg. God, what are you doing to
no.
yourself?
Now, I want to draw the line again, or I'm sorry, I want to mention this again,
Free
Yes.
porcelain.
that by enacting or at least drawing the court's attention to the anti-slap properties of this lawsuit, or the slap properties of this lawsuit, and trying to invoke the anti-slap statutes, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say we. Karl and Shuli are effectively drawing a line in the sand to tell John, if this court finds that you are trying, that this lawsuit was simply an attempt to violate First Amendment laws, you are in deep shit because you will be forced to pay everyone's costs. Now, drawing a line, do you want to move forward? And I really want to make that clear because the ball is now in John's court as to whether or not he is
Wants to take that
really
risk.
committed to this, or is he just going to fade away?
Well, I'm sure Telly Savalas is not that expensive. I mean, being a legal analyst for all those cable networks and being a guest on the wrap-up show, I mean, I'm sure his prices are quite fair.
Quite reasonable.
I have predictions of what I think is going to happen. I've said them. I'm not going to repeat them here.
How much do you think he is an hour? Like, is that what, like, or what do they, how do lawyers charge?
I think he's a lot of money an hour.
I think he's a lot of money, but I don't think John's paying $1.
What? You traitor.
Yeah.
What do you mean his mom is? John's mom is going to pay it?
No, John just doesn't pay for lawyers. He gets pro bono lawyers.
No,
or
I'm
gets them
talking
by
about
first?
Shuli's lawyer.
Yeah, you're talking about Danny.
Oh,
but that is
I'm
an
sorry.
interesting question. So what's the difference in price between the two? I think that Tabber is working for free or is being paid by a benefactor. And I think that his rates are relatively low. I think that in general, I could be totally off about this. Based on my knowledge of law firms within New York State, I would say that lawyer fees tend to go from around $100 an hour to around $500 to maybe $1,000 an hour.
I've seen much more egregious. I've seen $1,400 an hour.
I've seen more egregious. Again, this seems like a labor of love for Danny, so I don't know. I'm
not saying that's what he is. I'm just saying I've seen it go that far, so we can speculate whatever that is. But
well, I'm sure he gets paid enough being a legal analyst on all those cable shows that he can afford not to be expensive. Holy shit, they must be paying so much money for this guy.
Yeah, I know. Everybody don't forget, go support Karl and Shuli right now. I know that we've been talking a lot about will they get reimbursed for the cost of their attorney. We all think that is very unlikely. Well, I don't know what Tookie thinks, but I'm lumping you in with us now. So go support them. They really need your support. If you can, drop them super chats, super tips, subscribe to their Patreon. If you can't do any of that, the thing that I always say really, really, really supports channels, that is a very small thing that you can do, is if you watch the ads, the creators really do get more money for that. It's a small thing. I know it takes time. I know ads suck. But that is a small thing that you can do to support them right now. And just like, comment, subscribe, do all those things for them as well.
Stop going through John's garbage, you lunatics.
We are about to get to that, thank God. We are about to get to the discarded trash. I am going to do a little bit more jumping around, though. We are going to go check out the Memo of a Law. Again, so we're going to pull that back up because we talked about one of my favorite footnotes that we already saw in the affidavit, but now we got to talk about one of my favorite sections within the Memo of Law. So this is going to be on page 23. And let's see what this says here. This is discussing the failure to allege the elements of New York Civil Rights Law, sections 50-51, which is the whole crux of John's argument. And what we're saying here is that, number one, because John claims himself that he is a public figure, and moreover, because profit does not necessarily equal advertising or for the purpose of trade, this is a very small but powerful distinction. So basically it's saying that profit doesn't alone equal advertising. I was so impressed by this section of the Memo of Law, and this was, again, something that I'm not personally familiar with, and I got to learn quite a bit about here. Luigi, were you aware of this?
Was not. This one's new to me. Yeah, but reading it, it does make some sense. Yeah.
How did you not have heard of this? Tookie, of course he heard of this.
Yeah.
Explain
Tookie,
to Tookie what this is.
What do you think? What do you think profit? So when you think
it means that even though John is so famous and they used things associated with John. Well, no, I don't even know if it means that. It means that just because you made a lot of money doesn't mean that your advertising was the reason that you made a lot of money.
Yeah. They can make money unrelated to the fact to the allegation that they were advertising or using his likeness for the purpose of trade.
Right.
It's entirely possible.
Tookie was also advertised as being there. Maybe people came out for Tookie.
Exactly. 2
years in a row now.
That had to be it. I know.
I'm on the second year. I count it as 2 years.
It counts. It does.
Yes.
It truly does. truly does.
Sorry.
That's it. I will help you out with your lawsuit about that. This is like one of those very small but powerful distinctions. I was really impressed again with this kind of section of this memo of law, and I also was not aware of, because again, I don't typically deal with torts within the law firm that I am a legal assistant at, but this also talks about, and Luigi, maybe you can kind of explain this to us if it's something that you're familiar with, the relationship between plaintiffs and defendants that is a requirement here on page 25, section, glasses are not that good. Number 2 there, no relationship between plaintiff and defendants. Were you aware of that? Can you explain that to us?
So this one is this one is really in the weeds, or I should just say super niche. It says that there is a requirement, there's an element when talking about an enriched party, basically saying when John specifically says that there was unjust enrichment, that there has to be some kind of business relationship between the two of them that case law has defined. Excuse me. And it's saying that essentially John's claim of unjust enrichment fails because this element was not satisfied. There was no relationship between John and Shuli and Karl in a business type context to say that he could be unjustly enriched. So basically saying, you interpreted this wrong, John, and when you wrote it down, you didn't do your due diligence in understanding it. And again, you did not state your claim accurately, because what you have to do is you have to lay out each element specifically to say how each one was satisfied in order to show that it was violated and you were the victim of that. And since you never fucking did that, John, you misunderstood the whole thing entirely, and these are the things you missed. And there was no relationship between them, which is a requirement. And so it says here, the FAC, the First Amendment complaint, again alleges the opposite. The defendants misappropriated his voice, image, and secretly without his content. So it's basically just saying, John, you said everything incorrectly as a matter of law.
Which again, it's just so dang beautiful.
That's why pencils have erasers. Can't we just erase that part and put in the good things, the things he was supposed to put?
You know, once it's filed with the courts, it is officially public record.
All right, next time.
There's not a big enough eraser to get rid of that shit. Not a big enough eraser in the world. All right, before we get into the discarded trash, I know everybody has been waiting for the discarded trash, the couch cushions. We have the end of the saga of what happened to the couch cushions. We are going to do some more super chats. We're going to get caught up on those. Thank you guys again so much for your support, for your super chats, for being here, for liking, subscribing. Do not forget to go support Luigi Greenberg on his channel. LuigiGreenberg.com will take you to all the relevant links, and also to support Tookie on his channel, which you can find all of the relevant links on TookieSoup.com. We appreciate you guys being here to talk all this legal mumbo jumbo with us a ton. And thank you, Jay Wolfenstein.
My pleasure.
For $5, we have, so this case comes down to whether or not the judge gets a blowy. In my opinion, all cases do. But Lucy, you know what you have to do. Ask Tookie to give the judge a blowy. Tookie?
Done.
Perfect.
Done.
This is going to be a wonderful outcome.
How do we do
Sean,
this?
$4.99. Hi, Sean. Thank you both for the ongoing analysis. You are very welcome.
Very welcome.
Presents $4.99. Did anyone catch the thing in the middle of SJ's carpet?
I saw it.
A cat turd, cockroach, or dead goldfish?
It was a blob of brown something, and it just looked disgusting, and I wasn't interested in looking too closely.
Oh, no. I'm going to have to go and check out that video. If anybody finds exactly what that is and makes a good assumption, I'm sure you can find it on one of our Twitters. Gross. Colin Madden for $5. I'm excited to hear John explain his method of integrity verification to the judge. He was 100% crying. You have a supporter there, Luigi.
Yeah. His eyes were red.
I just cried on WATP the other day for like a solid 10 minutes, so I am
What?
not one
Why?
to judge.
What did Karl do to you?
I know it was horrible. He announced and didn't give me a head up. The wonderful, wonderful caller, Gary from San Diego, died. So
Oh,
R.I.P. Gary
no!
from San Diego. I know. I'm
What?
sorry. I just did it to you. Are you crying now too?
Oh, this is horrible.
It was very traumatic for
No
me.
idea. How are we going to remember to rock and roll now?
I know.
Oh, that's actually very, very sad to hear. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry.
What was his wife's name? Judy or Julie? Judy.
Oh my God, you have to go watch the WATP though, because
Oh,
Judy
I can. I never watch. I'm sorry.
Judy-
I can't watch that.
Judy sent in pictures though, so we get to see Gary from San Diego's face, and I just started
JT,
crying.
cut that for me.
Yeah, I
JT,
know.
cut that. I can't watch WATP, but please cut that out. That is so sad.
I know.
Aw.
He's gonna be terribly missed. We love him.
Hey,
All right.
Karl.
Happy
Gary from
times.
heaven.
Happy times. Oh my God. Don't do the voice. I'm going to start crying again. Ken, $5. I'm not ashamed to admit I'm slowly jacking to Slutbox. Oh, I've not heard Slutbox before. You're the weirdo. I like it. I'm in. We have General Bam for $1.99. Do you think he actually knew about the recording? I think that at some point he became aware of the recording. But I do not think that at the time that he was talking about banging her on top of the Eiffel Tower, I almost called it Eiffel Towering her. That's not even what he's talking about. At the time that he was talking about banging her on top of the Eiffel Tower, I do not think that he knew that he was being recorded.
Is that every woman's dream, to be banged on the top of the Eiffel Tower by an old out of its prime Wolverine?
I've never wanted something less in my entire life.
Why does he think that would impress a girl? That sounds gross.
Or an $80,000 a year job.
You know, like when people have like that, I always forget which disorder this is, but it's like when you don't have the same association as other people have.
Asperger's.
And yeah, it's effectively Asperger's. And so I feel like he's like, well, the Eiffel Tower is romantic and women like romance and they like making love. So if I banged a girl on the top of the Eiffel Tower, that would be super hot.
You want to go to Paris and risk getting arrested for having sex outdoors in Paris? Yeah. Like, no, I don't want to do that. That sounds disgusting.
Not even
like, what does he think? No one else is going to be at the top of the Eiffel Tower? How would they be by themselves?
Yeah, and also even the New York Post wouldn't post that article if they did get caught. Captain Stone Crab, $1.99. Thank you so much. Frog is the star witness against John Skoll.
That is funny.
Frog is the hero of this case. There is so much good that has been done here. Danny is an incredible attorney. Karl and Shuli are doing a great job keeping it all together and handling things as best that they can in a shitty situation. And Frog killed it with that video. Absolutely outstanding. Don't forget to go support the Shuli Network. Go support Frog. He is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Matthew Rowley for $5. Has Karl mentioned to his attorney that AI Stuttering John advertised his events? If not, please tell him to. I would want that heads up if I was his attorney. I don't know the conversation. So Karl and Shuli have what is called attorney-client privilege with their attorney, who is Danny. We will never know the conversations that they're having behind closed doors. But what I will say is that it seems to me like Danny has a good finger on the pulse about what is going on with this stuff.
And we know John has a very bad crooked finger. So point
on the pulse
Danny.
also. Yeah.
And a bad pulse.
Point
Yeah, he's trying to have his finger on the pulse, but it's actually like 2 inches over.
It's stuck in his nose.
Unfortunately. Blah, blah, blah. No,
I would
thank you.
imagine you'd probably want to save a little bit for depositions and trial, but, you know, whatever.
I mean, hopefully it never gets there. Hopefully this just gets dismissed and nobody ever has to think. Well, I mean, we still get to talk about it, but Karl and Shuli don't have to think about it again. And they can talk finally. I'm sure they got lots they want to say right now. Chaos Queen for $10. Dear Tookie, I'm sorry I so rudely told you to F off while in Atlantic City this year. We love you, you green furball. We love you, Kaylee.
I don't know if I can accept that yet.
You're going to have to make amends by this upcoming Atlantic City. Is that? It's right around...
it's Super Bowl weekend.
Super Bowl. Yes, Super Bowl. I know about the Super Bowl.
Get your hotel rooms to the Borgata Super Bowl weekend. We will be there because you can always cancel them 3 days before and not get charged. So you might as well get your tickets now, or get your rooms now. The Stupor Bowl, NLO and Tookie Soup present the 3rd annual Stupor Bowl in Atlantic City.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Maybe this will finally be the first year that I get to go. I've been really wanting to go.
gotta
Rumble Link
go.
Friday, Thursday, $4.99. What if through this process we find out that Karl and Shuli have been wife swapping a la the toe? That would be interesting. Can you
Especially from
imagine?
different states.
I would be very impressed. And I would feel bad for everybody involved, I feel like. I don't know who I feel worst for in that situation.
Karl cut? Do we know if Karl's cut? Because that
Please
might
never make
scare,
me think about that ever again.
but it might scare Shuli's
Julius.
wife.
Yeah.
Karl is not
Might scare
is
Shuli
not-
also.
Yes,
I don't know
yes.
who's swapping with who.
Jenny, she'd be like, "Oh, I've never seen it. Looks so much better, so much more handsome."
We have the absolutely amazing Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve in the house here. $20.
Who?
Thank you
Dr.
so much.
Steve.
The response is the greatest legal document ever written. Law schools will be teaching classes about it for decades. So happy to be alive. Dr. Steve, we are also happy that you are alive, and we love Wet Brain, the card game, and we love Dabble Dice, and we love you. Especially
Please,
me. They don't.
please. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, please put it in your will that Tookie gets to speak at your funeral, Dr. Steve. Thank you.
You know, you and Dr. Steve have a very special connection.
Thank you.
You've both been inside Tookie.
That is true. That is
know.
true. Also, Dr. Steve, Fez Watley's niece is auctioning off some of his memorabilia. If they auction off one of his Ric Flair type robes, I want to go in and get it. We can share it. You can have it on the even months.
All right, Club 102 for $4.99. Would Lucy Tightbox like to go see Trivium and Ginger this December in Albuquerque? I got VIP tickets. I am not actually a fan of Trivium or Ginger. I don't like breakdowns in my
Or
death metal.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, well, I didn't have anything bad to say about Albuquerque.
It stinks. It's dangerous. Don't go there.
But another show, perhaps, I would accept. Labyrinth Mystic, $5. I rewound to the start of the show, so I am half an hour behind, tipping the staff, making the legalese English for us simple verse enjoyers. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. We have Birch the Great coming in for $2. Tookie and Lucy, an awesome combo. I am in love with Tookie, almost as much as I'm in love with Dr. Steve.
Thank you,
Some
Birch
love
the
for
Great.
Luigi.
Luigi, I think that the amount of love you and I have received, Tookie deserves some today.
All right. Well, he gets love every day.
It's true. Everybody does love Tookie more than a friend.
I'm addicted to it.
I know. It's so great. Sorcerer for $1.99. Can we do trial reenactment at Dabble Mania 3? I would love to see that. I think that we can have what are those things that you do in high school? Mock trial? Yeah, we'll do a mock trial of what's going to happen. That's actually a really fun idea that I hate and also love. Magnesium, lithium.
Linoleum.
Linoleum.
Supports my ad.
$5 super sticker. Thank you.
Thank you,
Queen-
everyone.
Tookie, did you want to read the entire name of this for me here, this one?
Queefer, Adams Bush's #1 fan, Stotherland. Thank you for the 20 cents in America, I'm assuming. I'm sorry, Tookie. I can't come until you read my name, TWO.
Did it work?
Yeah, did you come yet? Did you come yet? Did you come yet, Karmic? Karmic, did you come? How come you're not proving you care about me? Why don't you come?
By the way, those are Mexican pesos.
Exactly. Like I said, 20 cents American.
No, even less. It's like 0.054 American.
There's no way.
I'm rich. Tickle Me Tookie for $5. Tookie, no Eiffel Tower sex, but a romantic date to the Golden Corral is acceptable. Marriage at the DMV.
Absolutely.
100%.
Saved a lot of money getting married at the DMV.
All right, we need to get into what happened to the couch cushions. But before we do that, I would love it. Luigi, will you please remind everybody where they can find you, what exciting things you have coming up? All of that.
Are you going to
good
scold
jazz.
me for having too many plugs like Karl did?
I'm not Karl, and I am very proud of that.
I'm sorry, Karl keeps hurting both of you.
I like to help my friends, and so I throw in some plugs for my friends. LuigiGreenberg.com for me, Luigi Greenberg on YouTube. I host a show called Skeptical Robot that is on Fridays. My co-hosts are Gummy Chainsaw, gummychainsaw.com, and Corndiff.
Holy shit, hell
Dirt Dolphin. Oh my God, Karl, Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. Also, I am on Hack Ride Studios Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the summer for Unboxing Eric, Unboxing Riley Martin, Unboxing Bigfoot it is, and that is HackRideStudios.com and DJElectrify.com. Thank you.
And I'm going to throw in one more for you, Luigi. You and I and Trucker Andy from All Apologies podcast will also be doing another episode of The Edge Files this upcoming September 8th. And we are going to be talking all about Lilydale, New York. So
I cannot wait.
Of spooky, exciting mediums. Now, Tookie, can you rival that number of plugs?
Yes, I only have one plug. It's the only plug that anyone needs. Patreon.com/World War Z.
Of course. Of course. In addition to that, I will throw one in for you, TookieSoup.com. Please go check that out. Make sure to support Bedabbling Network over on YouTube. This is a good time to support all of your favorite creators. And with that being said, we need to support our couch cushions. Danny would be amiss if he did not address this. So we are going to go back into page 22 of the affidavit in support, and we are going to start talking about the couch cushions heard around the world. Now, of course, John alleges that Karl and Shuli, or a fan acting on their behalf, trespassed onto his property and took couch cushions, which he had previously discarded, to the curb, aka the trash.
I don't know how this made it out of Taber's office. I mean,
Yes.
this is insane. This is ridiculous. And we did kind of, beat this dead horse before that. Why does someone need to be told? Why does an adult person need to be told that if it's discarded, it doesn't belong to you anymore? But also, there's a direct lie from John, just an absolute blatant lie, talking about trespassing on his property when everyone knows, and there's a lot of people who can testify that that's not what happened. What happened was he threw out a bunch of garbage and a couch onto a public sidewalk, and some people who are in the Dabbleverse thought, you know what scumbags do when they're moving? They throw all their shit out on public sidewalks, and decided to check and see if John was that particular type of scumbag, and it turns out he was. And so they took what was public property. That's it.
And the intent of taking the couch cushions, of course, was going to be to display them during DabbleCon 2, which they in fact were. There was a lovely little black light. We all had to stand near them. I felt like I could smell them from even being very afar. But they were in fact displayed. And of course, as Luigi just described, paragraph 22 of the affidavit in support to the motion to dismiss specifically states, you could see it right there, very bolded, permission is not needed to take discarded trash. And I think that the easiest way for us to actually describe this is that cops don't need a warrant to search your trash. So of course, I can just take it if it's trash.
And talk to anyone who lives in Brooklyn, New York, and the Asians that come around when it's garbage night. Holy shit, what the hell are they looking for?
Yeah. Everything is the answer to that. Discarded couch cushions.
Someone from Brooklyn will back me up. I know this is true for a fact.
I don't know that one.
Luigi's so naive. Tookie, let's forget about him. Having to outline this in your motion as an actual legal point is so bonkers because it never should have been included in the first place.
No.
Now,
yeah, but that, it's like a book report where you have to make it so many pages. So if John didn't include that, it wouldn't have looked as impressive.
It wouldn't have looked as impressive. That's so true.
And
Tookie,
it wouldn't.
You said,
I was gonna say it wouldn't have had the John's stamp of stink on it. Yeah.
Tookie, you said that this was one of the sections that you had already read. What was your first reaction to this kind of response from Karl and Shuli to the couch cushions?
Oh yeah, I mean it's perfect. And like you're saying, like who doesn't know that once you put something out, it's anyone's. That's why people put out, old furniture that someone might want to pick up. Like it's not yours anymore. You put it out there. It's not like John was going to be driving through Utah and go, "Oh, I changed my mind. I want my couch. I need that couch. Oh no!" It's like he threw it out.
How can any adult need to have this explained to them?
Right. Right.
Well,
and to try
I
and
guess
use this against someone in court is insane.
It basically is the same thing that a kid does. If you take a toy away from a kid and then you give it to another kid, all of a sudden they want that toy more than anything in the world. It doesn't matter if they were previously done playing with it. He's like, well, now you have my couch cushions? Well, I really want to sit on them now. Nobody would have wanted to sit on those couch cushions. I can say that definitively.
How much was it to ship those couch cushions?
Dude,
That's what I want to know.
That's a great question. I do have the final answer, though, as to what happened to the couch cushions after DabbleCon 2, and we are going to get to see photographic evidence of that. Again, I cannot say thank you enough to Band Practice Guy for answering this question for us. I have always wanted to know, after DabbleCon 2, where the couch cushions were on display, what actually happened to them, and the answer to that is that some poor employee from Comedy at the Carlson had to take them out to the garbage. So this is the couch cushions being carried out to the garbage right here. You can see it in his little arm. Very sad for this man. I know. Look at how close he is to those couch cushions. Here's another
Get a
one.
tetanus shot.
Yeah, so that is the couch cushions going out to the curb. Now, we don't know if a fan has picked up those couch cushions, but I will say this. If you did, they belong to you because they were put out in the garbage. The long-awaited answer to the question of what the heck happened to the couch cushions.
So sad.
I know. They could have been exhibited again. They could have gone to court themselves.
They could have put him in the Smithsonian next to Archie Bunker's chair.
It's true. It's very true. Would have been something. We are rolling into a close here. We are going to talk just about one more section of this affidavit in support, which I don't actually know what page it's on, so that's really great. Why did I even want to talk about this section? I wrote a note here that says paragraph 102 really drives the nail into the coffin. Let's see if we can find paragraph 102. Oh, I saw it. There it is. All right. So what does this say here? It says, further, however, even if plaintiff didn't endorse these events, he unquestionably consented to his phone calls being recorded, provided to the defendants, and those recordings being broadcast. I don't know why I have that note there. That clearly is very misplaced. I'm ending this wonderfully. Instead, let's remind ourselves what the motion actually requests. So again, we now have Karl and Shuli's motion to dismiss. The motion is requesting that the judge dismiss the complaint with prejudice so that it can never be filed again, award fees and costs under the anti-SLAPP guidelines, stay the proceedings, and expedite a ruling. So that is what Karl and Shuli are asking the court to do. Again, there could be some combination of some of those things getting granted and other things not being granted. And now we need to talk about what happens next. So in this motion, I'm going to actually just pull up the motion one more time. If I remember how to do that, let's find out. In this actual motion, you might look at the notice of motion itself and see, oh, it's still processing. Oh, boy, I'm really ending this wonderfully. All right, you might notice if you look at this notice of motion that on the top corner there, it says that there is a return date of 9/8/2025. So what does that mean? That means that Karl and Shuli are asking for this motion to be heard on 9/8/2025, which means that there is not going to be very much time for Tabber to respond to this response, which is going to be the next step. However, there is almost always courtesy extensions granted. And Luigi, I believe that you just discovered that there was, in fact, one of those. So do you want to talk us through what you just discovered on the New York e-filing system?
Yeah, we found out that there was a filing today to extend the response from John, but we do have a specific date on it. And it looks like the date is going to be September 12th, which means that they have to have their response to this motion served and filed on or before September 12th. Yes. So just giving everyone an update of what the next steps are. And then the defendant's going to be given an opportunity, meaning Karl and Shuli will be given an opportunity to reply. That's going to be September 18th. And we'll see what happens from there.
Yes. That is very true. I think it's going to be a very exciting time. I think that things are going to happen very, very quickly, which is going to be also quite exciting. Let me just see if I can pull up a copy of that document that just got filed. So this is that extension here. Maybe we're moving very slowly, but we're still moving. Here we go. There is the stipulation extending the time to September 12th. And it actually looks like opposition papers are going to be due on September 12th, and then the 19th is going to be the court date. Is that what I'm reading there?
Yeah, I don't really rely on that, though, but the definitive dates are going to be the 12th and the 18th, meaning that those are hard dates, but a court date to review this can be rescheduled, so I just don't ever want to rely on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually just checking right now if there are any appearances scheduled in this case. It does not look like there are any appearances scheduled as of right now. Something that I thought was a little bit interesting that we have not talked about was that the request for judicial intervention, which was filed by Tabor on behalf of John, that document is still listed as pending on the New York State court system filing. That is a little bit peculiar to me to still have that document listed as pending. Typically,
Tookie was thinking
documents
the
like
same
that.
thing.
Yeah. Well, Tookie, of course, that usually documents like that get marked. They get changed from pending to processed within maybe about a week, right?
Yeah, I would say about a week.
He filed it on August 7th. Now, that request for judicial intervention is going to be the document that is going to put this onto the court's calendar. That's one of the big things that is going to put it onto the court's calendar. So it's a little bit bizarre that that's still listed as pending. I did look through the document. I didn't see anything wrong with it. That being said, I am not an attorney, so it's entirely possible that I'm missing something. But it is interesting that it's still listed as processing. Here this is. It's asking for a preliminary conference in a tort case. So,
and you said that normally these don't show as processing this far.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's definitely a bizarre one. So I think with all of that, the only thing that we have left to do here, other than a couple of super chats, is going to be talking about what we think is going to happen with this case. So Tookie, what do you think?
By all of my limited legal knowledge, I mean, I would have to believe that something like this would get thrown out before it goes any further. But it's like you said, I guess it all depends on the judge and how, whatever they decide. I mean, I don't know. I want him to get the chair. How do we get Shuli to get the chair? That's what I want to know.
You have to give the judge a blowy.
Fuck. I'll do it.
You have to.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask. So by appearances, you're saying that it's not likely that like John and Shuli and Karl will have to appear on any of those September dates? Or like
more than likely it would just be their attorneys, and more than likely it would just be a virtual appearance. That being said, I could be totally wrong about that. That could be something that I am 100%. Torts law is complicated, and I don't know exactly how judges like to do this, but hopefully at some point soon we will start seeing those appearance dates showing up on eCourts, which is the website that allows us to see that sort of information. As soon as that information does start coming out, I will be posting that on Twitter so that we can all kind of mark the dates on our calendar, just like John did. You know what? I'll do some sports betting so that we can all mark the date and make sure that we're not forgetting it. That sounds like a great idea, right?
It's very
Luigi,
exciting. Yes.
What do you think?
This one is just such a toss-up because, like we've established, motions to dismiss are not regularly granted. There is just, I've even known some judges to just simply say, look, if there's a plaintiff that files a lawsuit, we got to go through with it. And they completely lean on anything the plaintiff says to take it all the way to trial.
Yeah, agreed.
It's so weird. And yeah, I mean, 90% of them get denied. This one has so much information on it that I think it definitely has a possibility to get granted. But at that point, it's just a toss-up. You just don't know. I think this one has a good chance. That's all I'm going to say is I think it has a very good chance. I originally said it has a 51% chance of getting granted. I'm going to actually raise it up a little higher to maybe 60. I think it has
That's
a
great.
60% chance of getting granted.
I think that's a wonderful
Regardless
improvement.
though, I just cannot imagine this going very far. I mean, I definitely don't see this going to trial. So it's really all I can really say at this point.
It is gonna be interesting. I will say that much. I think that ultimately John loses, and electric chair as per Tookie.
Yes. For
but
Shuli.
yes, of course.
Knew it.
I forgot.
Gas
I mixed
chamber.
it up.
Gas chamber.
Ugh.
What? What's the big deal? I heard it's more humane.
I think that Karl
They did a lot of
eventually
tests in the 40s.
will,
the
yeah,
30s?
and they were all very, very great.
I think it was the 30s.
I think that they will ultimately win. I think that the only question is how much money do they spend to win? And then ultimately, does John eventually have to reimburse them for that? And I think those are the questions that are question marks on my plate at this point. All right, we have more super chats to get into here. I will give both Luigi and Tookie an out, though. I know we've been going for a long time. If either of you need to hop off, you are absolutely welcome to tell us and remind us one more time where people can find you and head out of here.
I am going to run. Thank you very much to both of you for having me on. Again, you can find everything at patreon.com/World War Z. Thank you very much. Love you all more than a friend.
Love you more than a friend,
to the
Tookie.
chamber.
And he will never be invited on ever again. I'm lying. Everybody go support Tookie. TookieSoup.com. Do not forget to listen. Absolutely outstanding. All right, let's get into these. Reverend Rage, $4.99. The way they harass John is disgusting. Just because he's slobber doesn't mean he doesn't have human rights. Lucy, what about the loony sex rumors FSE? Are there is that Looney Tunes critic sex rumors?
What are the
I'm
sex
not aware
rumors?
I am not aware of those. That sounds like you're asking me because I'm involved in them. So that's news to me is the answer to that.
It's interesting there, though, that he says the way that they, harassed him was disgusting. Well, I don't think John's been harassed at all by Karl and Shuli. But even if they were, there's nothing illegal about it. So the fact that it's been brought to a lawsuit is still a complete nonsense.
It is. What a weird time we live in. I guess that's the only thing that I have to say about that. Madigan, a Quinn Martin production, $5. Rumor has it the couch cushions made their way to, I can't say it right now. Guggenheim Museum. I wish that were the case so very much. Club 102, $4.99. Thank you. How dare you talk trash about Albuquerque, Tookie? Oh no, it's a good thing Tookie left already. You're banned from this establishment for life. I already banned him. This is working out great. Turn in your VIP Bob Levy smoking lounge pass. Oh, it's a shame. John's Gimpy Halloween hand for $2. Thank you. Casino in a few weeks. Tookie. I believe that will be the case. Gabriel Archer, $5. It's good to know that the couch cushions will live out the remaining days in the style that they are accustomed to at a public landfill. Oh, that is just absolutely the perfect way to close out this episode. The couch cushions will live on forever in a dumpster fire that exists truly in our hearts. And Luigi and I am sure, will be back to discuss more about this lawsuit because more is coming down the pike. The erasers are not big enough to erase any of the horrible things that have existed. I made a horrible analogy there. It's fine
I got
because we're closing up right now. I'm tired. I'm happy. This has been a weird week, and I cannot say thank you enough to Luigi, to Tookie, and to all of you guys for coming and hanging out with us, and we will see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.